Hello, this is Neil, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about, do you have to be a good artist? Can you be a bad artist? What does it mean to be a good artist? And and while I'm talking about that, right here in the background is playing. I just showed you the what I've got done so far, and then I'm showing you here in real time an oil painting that I'm working on. So, do you have to be as good as your favorite artist? Let's say Rembrandt. No, you don't have to be a good artist. Now, that all depends on what your goals are as an artist, right? If your goals are to make a living doing art, then yeah, you gotta be a pretty good artist, because the odds are that if you're not at least decent in the eyes of most people, they're not gonna want to buy your stuff. And you gotta be really good if you want to work in the industry somewhere, because your competition is high. There are a lot of good artists out there, which means you have to put a lot of time and effort into it. But that's if you want to make a living out of art. Do you have to make a living out of art to be an artist? No, I don't think so. Again, there's like two main types of artists. There's those artists that are trying to work in the industry or, sell their art. They're making it a job. They're making it their life. They have to put a lot of time and effort into it, to get good enough to where they can reach that level. But there's also artists that just enjoy painting, that enjoy drawing, that enjoy digital painting, or whatever it is that they're doing. They enjoy it. It's a hobby. If it's a hobby, it doesn't matter what the end result is. What matters is that I enjoy doing it. It's the process. It's that you are having fun. And if you're not having fun, then obviously it's not really a hobby. Why are you doing it then? If you're not having fun doing art, then there's only really one other purpose why you keep doing it, and that is because you want to do it for a living or something. And so you're pushing yourself to be good at it. But why push yourself to be good at something you don't enjoy in the first place? Why not find something else that it's going to be a lot less competition out there and a lot easier to find a job doing it, and something that you enjoy more? Something to consider. But as far as if you enjoy it, then you've already experienced the greatest thing in art, in my opinion, is the joy of doing it. It doesn't matter if you get 100 million likes or whatever, on your art. It doesn't matter you post on DeviantArt and you only get a few likes, That's all about friendship. That's mostly is a friendship thing. Most of the people that have a bunch of likes, I would say most, but a lot of the artists out there, they get a lot of likes on Facebook or whatever. It's because they have a lot of online friends that they've made in communities and stuff like that. They took the time to post on other people's posts and to interact with the community and build up a fan base. And a lot of these artists aren't even that good, and that's not a bad thing. It doesn't matter. Your art doesn't have to be Rembrandt, to get noticed. It's all about the community at that point, and they like getting that feedback. They like getting the like comments, and that's great, and that can make you feel really good. But you don't need that. If you already enjoyed the art process and you had fun making the piece of art, you had fun doing the painting, and it was enjoyable or relaxing or peaceful, then you've already got the joy of painting or the joy of drawing. As Bob Ross was all about. Bob Ross wasn't about, hey, let's create masterpieces that we can sell for, thousands of dollars, or hell, even $75. It was about, hey, let's enjoy the process, the joy of painting. And that's really important, is to enjoy the process of painting. So basically, this is encouragement for those that feel like, hey, my paintings or my drawings aren't as good as so-and-so. Well, who cares? Did you enjoy it? That's what's important. If you enjoy doing it, then it doesn't matter if it looks like a child's drawing or painting, You enjoy doing it. That's why you did it. Unless, again, like you're trying to make a living out of artwork. If you're trying to make a living out of artwork, then you have to care about how good it is. You have to put a lot of effort and practice in. Here's a good analogy. Let's say you're playing guitar. If you just play guitar because it's something to do that's fun here and there, you're not trying to be the next Jimi Hendrix. You're not trying to join a band. You're not trying to sell your music online. You're not even trying to write music. You just like playing the guitar is fun. You just like doing it. It's the process, right? So why is art any different? Why do people look at art so differently than they look at all these other hobbies? They feel like, hey, my art doesn't look as good as that person's art. Well, if you're just playing the guitar for fun, do you think, my guitar playing doesn't sound as good as, Jimi Hendrix? If you do, you shouldn't, because that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because you love doing it. If you're playing the drums or whatever, like I play the drums, I'm not super good at it. I don't put enough practice or effort into it to be super good at it. But when I can and I do it, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's just the process. It's having fun, and I treat it that way. I don't beat myself up if it doesn't sound super awesome. I just do it because it sounds fun and it's fun to play, and it sounds good to me and it's fun to play. And if one day it sounds really, really good, that's fine. That's not why I'm doing it, though. I'm doing it just because I enjoy the process. And let's take something like jiu-jitsu. You can get in jiu-jitsu because you want to win a medal. You want to go into competition, or you maybe just want self-defense, to feel comfortable on the street. But you can also do jiu-jitsu as a hobby, a way to stay in shape because it's fun. And in that way, yeah, you're going to naturally get better the more you do it, but you're not trying to be the best. You're not trying to, you're willing to just tap out right away when someone gets you in a choke. There's no reason to try to fight off the chokehold. So sorry about that. The dog came over to her house, and anyway, so you don't try to fight off the chokehold because you're not worried about, you're not proving anything. You're not trying to win. You're just trying to do it to have fun. And that goes with all these kinds of hobbies out there. If you're a gardener, you do it because you enjoy it. You're not trying to be the best gardener on the block. You're not trying to have the best tomatoes because why? You're not trying to enter the local tomato contest or whatever it might be. So this is something to keep in mind, something to think about. Next time you're painting, next time you're drawing, just ask yourself, am I enjoying the process? Why am I doing this? And if it's just a hobby, you're not trying to be the next Michelangelo or something or whatever, and you're just doing it as a hobby, then think about it as a hobby. Don't think about it as competition. Don't think about it as don't allow yourself to get bummed out because your work doesn't look as good in your opinion as your favorite artist. Don't try to compare yourself to others. In the same way, you're not going to try to compare your gardening to other people's gardenings. At least you shouldn't, because you're just doing it as a hobby, or maybe you're just doing it to have some extra food in your house, some fresh food, because I love having fresh food. Fresh zucchini is way better than store-bought. And I think if you do that and you ask yourself that question and you're like, you know what, I just enjoy the process of painting. I enjoy the joy of painting, or I enjoy the joy, whether it's digital or traditional or watercolors or oils as I'm working in here. As long as you enjoy it, that's what matters. And so that's really what I wanted to talk about, is just to encourage people to continue drawing and painting. If you enjoy it, then continue doing it. If you enjoy sharing it with the world, then continue sharing it with the world on Facebook, on DeviantArt. By the way, DeviantArt.com is it is the biggest art form in the world. There's tons of just fantastic artists on there, and it's a great way to get a little bit of love for your work. Everyone likes to hear that, hey, good job, on anything we do, regardless of what it is. And so that's a good place to get that kind of feedback and, build a community. And again, you don't have to be the greatest artist in the world to build a community. All you have to do is participate in that community, comment on people. I mean, I wish I had more time to do that myself, but whenever I can, I try to go comment on people's works and say stuff. And it's a really awesome community with a lot of great artists and just good personalities. So if you allow yourself just to, go, hey, this is just a hobby. I enjoy it. That's why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to sell my work. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to be the best. I'm not doing it because I want to make it as an artist for a living. Now, if you're trying to make it, there's some little bit of advice. If you're trying to make it as an artist, as a living, still don't beat yourself up like that, because you don't have to be the best in order to get a job doing artwork. You just have to be good. Yeah, you have to really be disciplined. You have to put a lot of time and effort into your art. It's all about practice. If you want to be good at piano, you got to play piano all the time. You got to practice piano all the time. You got to push yourself. Try something that's hard. You can't just keep playing the same easy songs over and over again. You got to challenge yourself. And so if you want to, get better, challenge yourself. Try something more difficult, For example, oil painting portraits is not easy. And by the way, this isn't close to being done, even my face. I still have a lot of work to do on my face. I mean, not what you're looking at right now, but I'm just saying in the very beginning what you saw there, there's still a lot more I need to do to make this a finished painting. Yeah, so, and I've already actually worked on a few things like that, which I didn't have on camera at the time, but the upper right hand side of my face there, where that little kind of hard line is there to separate like the temple area, that is way too dark of a dark, and so I had to go back in and lighten that up to where it's just barely noticeable. Little things like that, little tweaks and color changes and things like that. So anyway, one thing that I'm kind of going for with this painting, I'm not trying to replicate his style, but I do like the style of Rembrandt. And so Rembrandt's kind of a, I don't know, I guess I'm using Rembrandt as kind of just an inspiration. I'm not like trying to make it like Rembrandt. I'm not like studying Rembrandt and going, okay, how did he do his brush strokes or anything like that. I'm doing the painting how I enjoy doing the painting, but I am using it as inspiration. And you'll notice there's a lot of differences between my style and Rembrandt's style. So I'm not trying to be Rembrandt, I'm being myself, but I'm inspired by some of his paintings that were more reds and oranges and really lacking of normal skin tones. Then he had others though that had pretty natural skin tones, but still in the shadows they're very warm. And I like the dramatic lighting that he usually used on portraiture, where sometimes half the face was in shadow. And that's ultimately what's going to happen with this one here. The entire other half of the face is going to be mostly in shadow. So I'm going to, right now, when you see it at the end or at the beginning of the video, you'll notice that the part of the face that's in shadow, the eye is way too dark still. I mean, I need to tone all that down. And there's different ways I can do that. It's now dry enough to where I can put a glaze over it, for example, and glaze that side of the face. Or I can just go back in and just paint color right over that color. Basically just repaint it with darker tones. I just didn't take the time to really match the colors so that they would be darker, or pay attention to the values enough. I just wanted to lay down some paint and get it on there and start to get a likeness, and then from there I can always tweak it. Now when I do her face, and I'll have a video on that as well, I'll have videos of this process as this painting continues on. So if anyone's interested in seeing maybe some oil painting techniques that have really helped me a lot and would help you as well. One, you'll notice here I'm just laying down the colors, for example. I'm not trying to blend or anything like that yet. I'm just trying to lay in the values where they need to go, and I'm not paying attention to my brush strokes or anything like that. I'm just laying down the main values and the main colors. And then after that you can go in and you can start blending some of it together that needs to be blended, like the forehead, for example. Just a little bit of blending, and then very little blending. I recommend doing as little blending as possible that you can get away with not doing. And then only after that do I go in and then I start thinking about, okay, what are some other colors? And I try to get the colors right the first time. Now that's what I'm going to do more with her face. I'm going to take my time more with blending my color. And believe it or not, with oil painting, what you find yourself doing a lot more of than anything else, if you're really trying to get that likeness, that kind of realistic likeness, you're really trying to get that colors that you want to get. In this case, obviously the photograph wasn't taken with these kinds of colors because I wouldn't know how to really get those colors with the photograph. And so, there's a lot of artistic license there too. As long as the values are right, what I'm saying is, as long as the values are right, you can make the color whatever you want. I can make myself blues and purples and it's still to look like me because the values are correct. You just have to make sure the values are correct. But anyway, so with that, I recommend, if you're doing a painting of portraiture, to try not to follow the colors exactly. Follow the colors that you want the painting, like the style that you want the painting to be in, and just make sure the values are matching. That is how light or dark that area is, and then use artistic understanding of color theory and things like that to use the palette that you want to use to create that ultimate look you want. Unless what you're trying to go for is just true photorealism. And if you're just going for true photorealism, then make sure that your still life, that is the person that's standing, make sure you have the right lighting on your figure. If you're painting from a photograph, make sure that you take the photograph with the right lighting and do some post-production work if you have to get all the colors to be what you want them to be. Make sure the photo looks like you want the painting to look like. Because if you're copying the photo and make it look just like the photo, then that's what your painting is going to look like. So basically all you're doing is recreating the photo in paints, when you're doing photorealism. Although it's still going to look like a painting because you have the brushwork in there and stuff. Especially when people get more closer to the work, they can see that, oh yeah, that's a painting and not a photograph. But even if you're doing that, I would personally recommend to make the colors look like a painting. So basically alter the photo enough to where the colors look more like a painting. And if someone wants to learn how to do that, like how can I alter my photos to look like a Rembrandt painting, or to have the color values and stuff, or at least closer to of a painting style that you're going for. What if you wanted it to kind of look like Monet? That really takes a lot of abstract thinking though. But you can see here the photo. Actually, you can't really see the full photo. It's kind of off my face offside. All you see right now is my wife's hair. But anyway, I don't follow the colors exactly. I know that I follow the values, but not the colors. Anyway, so if you guys want to learn more about oil painting, and I know there's a few that wanted to learn about my watercolor process, and so I'll be talking about that too. I'll make a real-time video of my watercolor processing my watercolor process, how I use it, some really good techniques that's helped me achieve the level of realism that I want to achieve with it. And a lot of people don't think of watercolors as realism. It's usually more abstract. And I do allow my watercolors to be abstract because I like that look of it. But I also want a certain level of realism in certain places. Like my figures, you can see, and I'll show you a couple right now so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, where it's not photorealism, but there's enough realism there. And that takes some certain watercolor techniques that are I like them. It's really fun too, and it's not wet on wet, but the end result looks like wet on wet. How to get a nice smooth blend. Yeah, but okay, so that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and please leave a comment if you like to see a video on the my oil painting process. If you want to know how I oil paint, and I can do that in the future, or maybe when I do her face, I can do it in real time. I don't know if I'll record the voice in real time. I might do a voiceover, but it'll be in real time. Like all this is so far been in real time. That's why it's taking so long, because I'm blending colors right now. And yeah, anyway, you'll find that if you're really trying to match the values, you'll find yourself color mixing. You'll find yourself like more time on your color mixing palette than you are on the actual painting process of itself. So anyway, but all right, guys, that's it. And then go ahead and like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and stay tuned. For those that listen to the end and you're still listening, stay tuned for the next giveaway. It's coming out soon, probably in the next day or two, or who knows, maybe even today. But yeah, I'm going to be giving away, I think, the 3D Total doll. I think I have two of them. I have another one somewhere. If I can't find it, then I'll have to give that one away later. But I kind of wanted to do it all in one go, two winners. But anyway, it's like an $89 doll, and it's really awesome. Really cool for referencing anatomy and stuff. It has one side that's muscles, and I showed it in another video, so if you remember seeing that, that's what I'll be giving away. Alright, so that's pretty much it, and until next time. And if you guys want to see, when I'm done with this painting here, a maybe more sped up like commentary of how I did it in my thinking process and stuff, let me know. I'll probably end up doing that anyway once I'm done with all and have all the videos. Right now I'm not done with the painting, so I can't do that yet. But alright, again, thanks for watching, and please go ahead and share the video, because if you enjoyed it, there's a good chance that other people will enjoy it also.